asked, we delivered. Guam AutoSpot is extending our overstock sell-off with the hottest deals on island, like our 2025 GMC Canyon with $4,000 off. Or slide into a brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, starting at just $24,995. September is your chance to drive big and save even bigger. Visit us today or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com or call 478-AUTO. Guam AutoSpot, where the savings never stop.
Buy fuel, get Wendy's. Drive to your nearest 76 Circle K and get free Wendy's. Yes, free. Fuel up with $30 and score your choice of a 6-piece crispy chicken nuggets or a juicy junior cheeseburger deluxe. Fresh, hot, and packed with flavor. But hurry, quantities are limited and this delicious deal won't last long. So hit the road to 76 Circle K, fuel up, and get Wendy's free before it's gone.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. Normally I'd be against this type of capitalistic corporate synergy. But when the other pigtailed provocateur said I could concoct my own Frosty, I melted. My meal is tribute to the suffering that awaits us all. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Dare to try? Something new? Life's too short!
You gotta chill with a snackable drink.
Life is too short. Hey, you gotta chill.
Mogu Mogu.
Moku moku! Kandit News is brought to you by 76 Circle K Guam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I can't get this other still. Now the other camera is working for crying out loud. Anyway, you get to see how messy this entire area is because this is the computer camera and not the other camera. Anyway, something went wrong. It's 1:05 p.m. on Saturday, September 20, 2025. My name is Troy Torres. Thank you, Sister Jen. Karina Conception, Guam is very hot. And Teresa Garcia, we got to go to Wendy's so I can treat you to one of those meals. Maybe the meal of misfortune, that whole Wednesday thing, right? God bless you all for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me on this live video editorial. For those of you joining me live, for those of you who will watch the replay, thank you so much. Hi, Sandra Rages, and everybody, please say a happy birthday to Eric Rosario, Kandit's very own Eric Rosario, who turns 46 years old today. Doesn't look a day over 31, though. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Johnny, my love. In all things but the physical. Not my thing, not my cup of tea. Hi, Mac, Michelle, Graceland. So, all right. As I was, so when I do a live show, the reason the picture in the very beginning takes long is because that's the time that I'm uploading the notification to our WhatsApp channel, and then I spread that WhatsApp channel to other places on WhatsApp, right? And so one of my sources came back and says, one of my sources from Saipan because the title of today's show is corruption hearings will start in the Guam legislature. And if you're familiar with the coverage we've been doing in the CNMI over the past several years, you'll know that there was no more exciting series of legislative hearings than the corruption hearings that were held by then Congresswoman Selena Roberto Babalta. She's a senator. She's a member of the CNMI Senate now. But when she was the chairwoman of the Judiciary and Government Operations Committee over in the CNMI House of Representatives, she held investigations and a series of corruption hearings. Now, they weren't called corruption hearings. They were called, I can't remember the formal name of it, but colloquially, they're called the corruption hearings. And thousands of people, hundreds at a time on every single live show, and tens of thousands of people by the end of each day would have tuned in to these corruption hearings on Kandit. And it was because there was just so packed with information, so packed with intrigue about, the revelation of all of these and these documents that were coming. I mean, this committee, they really did their homework. And they really it wasn't a dog and pony show. These legislators did their homework and they were revving for it. And it wasn't just how prepared they were. It was also how ill prepared or how evasive the witnesses they were bringing in from the Torres administration were addressing or were trying to evade these questions or trying to get away with whatever. And also for some of them, it was the answers that they did provide. One of the most popular moments during the corruption hearings was when then Lieutenant Governor, now the late Governor Arnold Palacios, appeared before the committee and said that Governor Ralph, he didn't throw Governor Ralph Torres under the bus. Ralph Torres threw himself under the bus. I mean, it was golden. And so, that's the perspective, right? When someone from the CNMI says about and to a headline that corruption hearings are going to start in the Guam legislature, that they understand how exciting this can be to watch if our legislators do this right, because they went through it in the CNMI. All of us who are Kandit viewers who are from Guam were watching that as well. We all know how intriguing a legislative corruption hearing can be if done right, if our senators do the legwork, do their homework, do their due diligence. My friends, my dear beloved Kandit viewers and readers, yesterday morning, in an interview that I had with Guam Senator Duanius, who is one of the more powerful members of the legislature. He is the chairman of the Committee on Ways, or the Committee on Finance and Government Operations in the Guam legislature, which is the purse strings of the government. He announced in a completely separate interview regarding Guam Memorial Hospital, at the end of this interview, he announced that he is preparing to begin a series of fiscal accountability hearings, which we would colloquially call, the same way we did in the CNMI, we would colloquially call corruption hearings. And make no mistake about it, these hearings are about finding out what, over the past few years, the Leon Tenori administration has been doing with our money, and if wrongdoing is found, to probe that, and hopefully there would be a tandem opening of criminal inquiries involving this. And we already know where this is going because we've already seen the black and white. And we already know that the Attorney General on just one of these black and white issues has already launched a corruption investigation. So first, let me just play you this portion of the interview so you can hear for yourself what Senator Duanius said. And so we'll start now.
You've pointed out, and I want to announce to you today that this is the beginning of a year-long fiscal policy of this 38th Guam legislature. So everything that you've been talking about in terms of, where have you guys been? There's been a plan for this going forward. And that is to now bring agencies in. We're going to start with the first month, and it's going to be quarterly with all the big guys and even the small guys in terms of how they're spending on things that are being discovered right now on
Are you talking
misspending.
about the corruption stuff? The allegations of
We're
corruption?
going, we are going to have the hearings, Troy, that will bear out how are you spending your money and why.
And
Wherever
when will
that
this start?
leads, we'll see where it leads.
When will it start?
It will start basically once we get this budget passed. We will have meetings in October, and then throughout the whole fiscal year, going into this next fiscal year, it will start. I don't know how much we'll do around November and December, but definitely January all the way through the rest of the year will be
And you
constant
will be
monitoring of the budget.
you through your committee on finance will be calling in the agencies every month?
We will be working. This is the start of joint hearings. So we will work with all of the other committees. So essentially, it will be joint hearings, but the primary focus will be finance, which means we're going to comb through the finances. You know, Troy, there's a project that's being worked on by OFB right now, and we'll get the report soon. There is going to be considerable lapses in this government that are tracking. And that means that either there's too much money in some of these agencies, or they're being constrained on their spending, or a variety of different things. But Troy, I want to just make this pronouncement today and why I was confident with the BPT rollback. We don't have a fiscal problem right now. We have a fiscal management problem. I believe that to my core. There is enough to operate properly.
We don't have a fiscal problem in this government. We have a fiscal management problem in this government. What Senator Duanius is saying is that we don't have a money problem because the government is already $1.3 billion rich because of the people of Guam, the taxpayers of this island. It's how that money is being managed. And I think that's what many reasonable people, most reasonable people, if not all reasonable people, or nearly all reasonable people, would suspect is that, yes, there isn't a fiscal problem. There's a fiscal management problem. And I am proud to tell you in this video editorial, and thanks to this announcement by Senator Duanius, that it appears that the Republican majority in the legislature has arrived at work. And that, and I suppose I have to apologize. And let me apologize. Let me say sorry to them, because over the past couple of weeks, I've been sort of raking them over the coals. I've been all like, where are the Republicans? Why aren't they doing anything about all these things that we're uncovering about the administration? All this Josh Tenorio stuff. Aren't they concerned? Don't they care? And I've really been laying it on thick against the Republicans. Apparently, so Republicans, I'm sorry. Apparently, you guys have been working on it. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the people. And so yesterday morning, Senator Duanius, he was like, look, Troy, I want to announce on your show that we are doing this. We're going to have these hearings. You have no idea how excited I am about this. Not simply because, you know, this is justice at work. This is our legislature, the people's branch of the government, responding to the outcry and the anguish of the people. Not simply that, though on its own, that is worth 100% of it, right? But also because, don't you remember how exciting the CNMI legislative corruption hearings were? Don't you remember yelling at the TV or yelling at the computer or your phone whenever one of the witnesses would say something stupid, or when Tina Sablan would ask a very probing question and you just see the witness just wide-eyed, not knowing what to do, what to say, looking at his or her attorney, saying something stupid, where you just knew that the administration was caught and just didn't have any answer that would satiate the public's, that would assuage the public's suspicion that corruption had happened in the CNMI. This the same sort of stuff. If our senators do their homework the way the CNMI legislators did their homework, our senators are going to evoke this same type of testimony and this same type of drama during these hearings, because we've already seen the black and white in only some of these areas. And I want to thank these senators, because it is, I don't know how possible it is even if all of the media on this island did all the research and looked back the past 6.5 years during the Tenorio lieutenant governorship, I don't know how possible it is that we would uncover it all. Because it's been weeks since we've been researching and been reporting to you, and all we're at right now, and with focusing on hardly anything else that's happening in Guam or the CNMI. The only thing we're able to provide to you because of our capacity, our limited resources, is the TGWOC stuff, and that was thanks in the first place to Joan Uggan Charfris over at KUAM. We just followed up with it, and then we started with the Chamorro Village stuff. We're not even on the Guam Museum, which is also under the Department of Chamorro Affairs. We're not even done with the Chamorro Village stuff. We haven't even begun to look at a company or a business called Supreme Security Services, which is owned by Frankie Rosalind, which also has contracts with the Department of Chamorro Affairs. And then there are all of the other agencies where businesses owned and operated by Charissa Tenorio and Frankie Rosalind, they've had transactions throughout the last 6.5 years that Josh Tenorio has been the lieutenant governor. And that's not even looking at anything else. Because if bid splitting is happening at the Department of Chamorro Affairs for comfort cuts only, what about all of the other vendors? What about all of the other agencies? And so thank you, senators, for joining in this investigation, for taking a look too, because we in the media, even if we dedicated all of our resources to it, which we could not possibly responsibly do, we can't do this on our own. And neither can the Attorney General. And, for as much as the legislature can uncover, I don't even know that the Attorney General's office or the public auditor would have all the resources they need in order to fully vet and investigate these things and to bring these matters to criminal justice within the statutes of limits. Which probably begs another conversation about providing more resources to the Office of the Attorney General and to the Office of Public Accountability. Or firming up, as Senator Tello Taidigui has been wanting to do, deadlines for agencies to submit things to the public auditor. I mean, look, you have Department of Administration, the cash agency of the government of Guam, refusing since August 20th to provide the receipts of the transactions the department, the DOA, the government of Guam through DOA has had with the companies and the businesses associated with Josh Tenorio's family. Just outright refusing to provide these public records. There is so much here. So the fact that Senator Chris Duanius and these, I'm assuming it's all of the Republicans because he's saying that he's going to bring in all of these agencies. And if he's saying that, he must have in Republican caucus, in majority caucus, discussed this and gotten the A-OK from the rest of the Republican senators. Otherwise, he would be pissing them off if he's just doing this on his own. And I can't imagine that he did it. I have to imagine that he's discussed this with the other Republican senators. And so because these guys are joining in, and I love it. And I want to breathe a sigh of relief, like, oh, we're not alone here, guys. There are people in our government who are listening, and it's not just the Attorney General who is doing at least that TGWOC cemetery investigation, at the very least. And it's not just the Office of Public Accountability that has been doing its job and auditing. Now senators are responding. And thank goodness. Now, you know what Adaloop's going to say? They're going to say, oh, they're just doing this because an election year is coming up. And don't you get gaslit by Adaloop, my dear friends. Just like this whole GMH thing, we've seen this happen before. We've seen this song and dance where you have a powerful administration that will try in every which way to assign blame somewhere else, to gaslight, to move our attention to something else. We have to be firm on this. We have to understand that we've got to support this process and enjoy that now we have leaders who are willing to step up to the plate and to listen and to understand our anguish and call for this corruption to end. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres. You all have a wonderful Saturday. God bless you. It's supposed to be my day off, but I had those few days when I had those headaches and I wasn't really able to work too much, so I have to make up for that. And so I'll be working. Don't you worry. I love you all. God bless you. Thank you so much.
You asked, we delivered. Guam AutoSpot is extending our overstock sell-off with the hottest deals on island, like our 2025 GMC Canyon with $4,000 off. Or slide into a brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, starting at just $24,995. September is your chance to drive big and save even bigger. Visit us today or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com or call 478-AUTO. Guam AutoSpot, where the savings never stop.
Dare to try? Something new? Life's too short!
You gotta chill with a snackable drink.
Life is too short. Hey, you gotta chill.
Mogu Mogu.
Moku moku!
Buy fuel, get Wendy's. Drive to your nearest 76 Circle K and get free Wendy's. Yes, free. Fuel up with $30 and score your choice of a 6-piece crispy chicken nuggets or a juicy junior cheeseburger deluxe. Fresh, hot, and packed with flavor. But hurry, quantities are limited and this delicious deal won't last long. So hit the road to 76 Circle K, fuel up, and get Wendy's free before it's gone.